John Marshall emerges from the tapestry of American history not merely as a figure of legal prominence but as a pivotal architect of the nation's constitutional and judicial edifice. His tenure as the fourth Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, marked by landmark rulings and visionary judicial interpretation, forged the foundations upon which the American legal system stands. His legacy, steeped in the principles of justice, federalism, and constitutional supremacy, continues to echo through the annals of American jurisprudence. Early life and education in the rolling hills of Fauquier County, Virginia, John Marshall's early years unfolded, his childhood imbued with the ruggedness of frontier life and the burgeoning spirit of American independence. Born to a modest family in 1755, Marshall's intellectual curiosity was evident from a young age, nurtured by a sparse but impactful education that laid the groundwork for his legal and political ascendancy. His early engagement with the law was less a chosen path than a destiny forged by the revolutionary fervor of his times and the mentorship of prominent legal figures, including his father, Thomas Marshall, and later, George Wythe and Edmund Randolph. Military service. The crucible of the Revolutionary War not only shaped the future of the young republic but also the character and convictions of John Marshall. His service alongside George Washington instilled in him a profound sense of national unity and an unshakable belief in the importance of a strong, centralized authority. These principles would later animate his jurisprudential philosophy and his unwavering commitment to the Constitution as the supreme law of the land. Legal career and path to the Supreme Court. Marshall's ascent to the pinnacle of American jurisprudence was both rapid and remarkable. His legal career, beginning in the tumultuous post-war years, was distinguished by his advocacy for a balanced federalism and his eloquent defense of the U.S. Constitution. His appointment to the Supreme Court by President John Adams in 1801 was a testament not only to his legal acumen but also to his reputation as a staunch proponent of judicial integrity and the rule of law. John Marshall as Chief Justice. As Chief Justice, Marshall transformed the Supreme Court from a fledgling institution into a formidable pillar of American democracy. His leadership was characterized by a series of decisions that significantly expanded the power of the federal government, reinforced the supremacy of the Constitution, and established the judiciary as an independent and equal branch of government. Through his efforts, the court became a vital arbiter of constitutional interpretation and a key player in the American political landscape. Marbury v. Madison, 1803. The case of Marbury v. Madison stands as a cornerstone of Marshall's legacy, establishing the doctrine of judicial review. This groundbreaking decision affirmed the Supreme Court's authority to overturn laws that violate the Constitution, cementing the judiciary's role as a guardian of constitutional governance and a check on legislative and executive power. McCulloch v. Maryland, 1819. In McCulloch v. Maryland, Marshall's court addressed the scope of federal legislative power and the relationship between the national government and the states. By upholding the constitutionality of the Second Bank of the United States and rejecting Maryland's attempt to tax it, Marshall affirmed the principle of federal supremacy and the broad interpretation of congressional powers under the Constitution. Gibbons v. Ogden, 1824. The Gibbons v. Ogden decision further exemplified Marshall's vision of an integrated national economy, free from parochial state impediments. By asserting the federal government's exclusive authority over interstate commerce, Marshall laid the groundwork for the development of a robust national market, fostering economic unity and growth. Contribution to constitutional law. Marshall's jurisprudence is renowned for its emphasis on the living nature of the Constitution, advocating for an interpretive approach that evolves with the nation. His decisions underscore the Constitution's role as a dynamic framework for governance, adaptable to the changing needs and challenges of American society. Challenges and criticisms. Though celebrated for his judicial achievements, Marshall's tenure was not without controversy. His expansive view of federal authority and his assertive approach to judicial review provoked opposition from advocates of states' rights and strict constitutional interpretation. Despite these critiques, Marshall's vision of a strong, unified national government and an authoritative Supreme Court remains a defining feature of the American political system. Personal life. John Marshall's personal life, characterized by a profound sense of duty and a rich familial and social existence, reflected the integrity and humanity that defined his public service. His enduring marriage to Mary Willis Ambler and his close relationships with contemporaries such as Thomas Jefferson and James Madison provided a personal counterpoint to his monumental public legacy. Legacy and memorials. The legacy of John Marshall is immortalized not only in the legal precedents he set and the judicial principles he espoused but also in the institutions and monuments that bear his name. His influence on American legal education, jurisprudence, and constitutional interpretation endures, a testament to his role as a pillar of American law and governance. Influence on future generations. Marshall's legal philosophy and judicial decisions continue to inform and inspire contemporary legal thought, serving as a beacon for generations of jurists, scholars, and advocates. His belief in the adaptability of the Constitution, the importance of a balanced federal system, and the role of the judiciary in upholding constitutional governance remain central to American legal and political discourse. Comparative analysis. Measured against his contemporaries and successors, John Marshall's contributions to American jurisprudence stand unparalleled. His unique combination of legal scholarship, judicial foresight, and constitutional vision established him as a seminal figure in the development of the American legal system, distinguishing him as one of the most influential justices in the history of the Supreme Court. Conclusion. John Marshall's profound impact on American law and society is a reflection of his visionary leadership, his unwavering commitment to justice, and his deep belief in the principles of the Constitution. As the architect of the modern American judiciary, his legacy continues to shape the contours of American law, embodying the highest ideals of justice and constitutional governance. Marshall's life and work exemplify the enduring power of judicial insight and integrity in navigating the complexities of governance and law in a democratic society. FAQs. What distinguishes John Marshall from other Chief Justices in American history? Marshall's unparalleled contribution to establishing the judiciary as a co-equal branch of government and his foundational role in defining the principles of American constitutional law set him apart as a transformative figure in the Supreme Court's history. How did John Marshall contribute to the concept of judicial review? Through the landmark decision in Marbury v. Madison, Marshall established the principle of judicial review, empowering the Supreme Court to nullify laws deemed inconsistent with the Constitution, a cornerstone of American legal doctrine. What impact did Marshall's decisions have on the balance of power between the federal government and the states? Marshall's rulings consistently favored the expansion of federal power, reinforcing the supremacy of the Constitution and the national government over the states, and shaping the federal structure of the United States. How is John Marshall's legacy reflected in modern legal education and practice? Marshall's principles and decisions are integral to the study of American law, influencing the interpretation of the Constitution and the development of legal theory and practice in the United States. What monuments or memorials honor John Marshall today? John Marshall is commemorated through various means, including educational institutions, court buildings, and public statues, reflecting his enduring impact on American law and society.